If you feel like your boundaries are poor when it comes to other people, I invite you to ask yourself this question. How strong are your boundaries with yourself? How easy is it to say no to you? And the reason I think it's important to reflect on this is because whatever way you're interacting with the external environment and the way that you are perceiving other people and how they feel about you, I think that that is really mirroring your inner world. So whatever way you're interacting with others, that's the way that you're interacting with yourself. So if you think about instances where you need to be firm with yourself and tell yourself no, or tell yourself that we are going to stop doing this thing that's maybe not good for us, then you have to think about how often are you listening to that inner voice, and not just listening, but following through. So for example, let's say you are binge watching a show, because I know that a lot of people do that these days, myself included. Sometimes I'll get hooked on a show and I want to continue watching. But maybe I have something else that I want to do that day. For example, maybe I have a video to edit, or maybe I want to come out to the park and film a new video. But I'm in the middle of this show and it's really good, and I get to just sit on my couch and relax and cuddle up with a blanket, and I'm comfy. But once I'm getting close to the end of this episode, a voice pops up and says, okay, it's time to turn off your computer and go do your project. But then the ego voice comes in, and that voice is really, its job is to protect you. Sometimes it does too good of a job of that, and it says, oh, you can just finish your project tomorrow. You can just film your video another day. Let's just stay here on the couch where it's comfortable and where it's familiar, and let's just keep watching the show. So the strong boundaries come in when you are able to tell yourself, nope, we are committing to what we said we're going to do. We are turning off this laptop and we're going out to do our project, or maybe to complete our homework, whatever it is for you. And then you commit to it. You are stronger than that ego voice that wants to keep you the same, that wants to keep you stuck in the familiar. This is what strong boundaries looks like. And so often we give in to the other voice that's saying, let's just stay the same. Let's just do what we usually do, and change is too hard. We will give into that. And to me, that is showing that your boundaries are not very strong. Because if you think about it, if your boundaries aren't strong with other people, and let's say you're saying yes to things that you don't really want to do, or you're saying yes to being treated a certain way, and you know that's not right, then again, we have to look at, are we doing this to ourselves? Do we have a lack of boundaries with ourselves? And if so, if you find that it's hard to say no to you, then we need to look at how can we cultivate a better relationship with ourselves and have the self-discipline to say no, and to stick with, to do what we say we're going to do. And remember, if you cultivate this relationship with yourself and you're able to say no to you, I think you can say no to anyone. But it all starts with you. So take a look at if there's any area in your life where you feel like you're struggling with setting those boundaries with yourself. And then a good practice to do is to write about it. Write about, why do I seem to choose staying comfortable and staying with what's familiar over saying no to myself? Why do I feel like it is challenging to confront that voice and to stick with your plan and essentially tune out that voice that's trying to tell you to just stay the same and not commit to your goals and whatever you're trying to do? Something else I want to mention along the lines of boundaries is it's really important to watch your self-talk. Because if you find that you're criticizing yourself, you're judging yourself for making mistakes, then this is a form of having a lack of boundaries with you, because you are basically just letting yourself walk all over you and even bully yourself sometimes. And of course, this is unintentional. We're not trying to be mean to ourselves, but it's true. We do this to ourselves. We let ourselves talk in this way that is essentially mean. And if you think about it, you would never talk that way to your best friend. So, to become more aware of that self talk and ask yourself, is this loving to me? By saying this to myself, is this coming from fear or is this coming from love? I really think it's one or the other. And if it's not immediately obvious that it's coming from love, then it must be coming from fear. Fear of not being good enough, failure, fear of failure, a fear of what other people are thinking. I think that's the root cause of criticism towards ourselves. So instead, what I like to do, if I've made a mistake, or when I make a mistake rather, I will tell myself, I'm just still learning. This is a learning experience, and what can I take from this that can help me improve myself? Instead of beating up on myself and saying, oh, you shouldn't have done that, or you shouldn't have said that. It's just looking at this with a gentle approach and just saying, I'm still learning. I'm not perfect. I don't always say the perfect thing at the right moment, but it's okay because I'm just on this journey of self-discovery. I'm learning more about me and how I want to show up in the world. I think everyone's doing that to some extent. So go easy on yourself and know that sometimes setting boundaries with you means being aware of your self-talk. And then write down, why am I criticizing myself for this? Why do I feel like I'm not enough for acting in this way? Really do some self-reflection. And I think writing is a good way to know where you stand with your self boundaries. And when you change your relationship between you and you will notice the relationships in the external world starting to change as well. I believe that people will either rise to meet you where you are vibrationally, or they will naturally fade out of your life, or you just won't see them as much because they're not tuned in to that new energy that you're coming into. So if you're in the energy of people pleasing, let's say, and you just want to say yes to everybody, you want everybody else to feel comfortable and tend to their needs, other people might be used to that. So if you actually come into the space where you can say no, let's say somebody invites you somewhere and you just don't feel like going, you just feel like doing something else, staying home, reading a book, working on your project, and you say, thanks for the invite, but I am staying in tonight, or I have other plans, or you don't even have to give an explanation if you don't want to. You can just say, thanks, I'm not going to join tonight. Hope you have fun. Just keep it short. No apologizing and no over explaining. Other people might be surprised by this different side of you. They might be used to you just giving in all the time and saying yes. And so some people are going to respect that, and some people might feel uncomfortable with it. And you know what? I think this is a great way to see who your true friends are. This is a really good test. Are they growing with you, and are they accepting this new version of you? Or are they feeling uncomfortable because they're still in that vibration of maybe needing other people to be a certain way so they can be happy, looking to the external environment for that happiness? And so this may lead them to slowly fade out of your life, and just let them do what they're going to do, because you are coming into new energy, you're finding your inner power, and you are developing those strong boundaries within yourself. So I hope this message was helpful. I hope you learned something new about boundaries, and that it always starts with you. It's always about the relationship between you and you. When you make that shift, you're going to see things start to change in your outer world for the better. And if you liked this video and you want to hear more about topics like self-development, relationship advice, coming into this new version of you, then stay tuned for more videos, because I have a long list of video ideas that I want to share with you all. And if you have any ideas yourself on what I could talk about on this channel, please leave me a comment and maybe your idea will show up in the next video. So thank you for watching. I hope you're all having a great day, and I'll see you next time.